But what I am saying is there aren't many of those, and there are plenty if you'd like to wear a medium or a large. I probably have a number of those. But then, at some point I will run out. And also, look, I'm just going to say it now. Normally, we just try to go through this battle before. Wait till we're in break to ask for the shirt, okay? Look, if you try to come get this shirt for me while we're clearly talking on the air, I'm not going to give it to you.
Wow.
I'm going to hold out. So if you would like one and we still have some, please come see us. That'd be nice.
Yeah, it's
But if you try to ask us while we're talking about, the Chiefs signing a rugby star or the Royals opening day roster, going to be a much bigger problem.
Yeah, look, it's going to be an awesome day, and the beautiful thing about opening day is everybody's optimistic. Every city, all 30 teams, everybody's sitting around and trying to talk through why their team is going to have a special season. You know what's great, though, about this year, admittedly unlike a year ago, this year when you're looking at the Royals heading in, you couple the division that they're in with all the moves that they made, a rotation that's a real big league rotation, and there's real reason to be optimistic about this team, not just the opening day optimism, but truly optimism that this can be a different season, and it's why it probably is the most anticipated opening day since after the 2015 World Series. I mean, that's how ugly it's been, yes, but also how I think effective this offseason has been in terms of going out and saying, all right, the evaluation year from a season ago, that was brutal for everybody. You and I were just looking at the opening day roster that just came out, the 26-man. There's only 7 players.
7. It's the 7 you think, too,
7 players from last year's opening day roster that are on this year's. And it's, as you said, it's Perez, Melendez, Pasquantino, Witt,
Bobby,
Isbell, Singer, and Lyles. Those are the only 7 players on an opening day roster, and that's a good thing because last year's team only won 56 games.
Yeah, and look, that's the point. That's the point that comes with the optimism. It's not that we just step here, and I get it. Every opening day we sit here, and then Gold and I get all excited again because it's opening day, and we juice up our win total prediction by a game or two because you're excited. It's not that. I'm genuinely excited about this team. I think that they have real expectations of performance this year for the first time in a long time, and I'm going to expect real performance based on that. And so when you think about where this team is, the reason why the expectation is there is those 7 guys you named, almost all are position players. They can hit a little bit towards the end. They improved offensively as the year went on. They couldn't pitch, man. They couldn't pitch. Jordan Lyles, who was not the 5th starter to start the year last year, Zach Greinke was the opening day starter last year. And you know I love Zach. You know I love Zach. But Zach Greinke was the opening day starter last year. The guy who was the 4th starter to open the year, the 3rd starter to open the year, didn't even make the cut. He's not even the 5th guy. That's Alec Marsh. And so that's why I have real expectation.
Well, and out of these players that are on the team still for opening day and those that aren't, some are in other markets, some aren't even on opening day rosters anywhere in baseball. That also
like
speaks
Dozier.
to – some of the names that are not on any opening day roster include, the Franmil Reyes and Jackie Bradley Jr. You mentioned Greinke, Nate Eden. Brad Keller, Dylan Coleman. Carlos Hernandez is because of an injury right now. But still, the point being, there's some guys that aren't even on anybody's opening day roster. And it speaks to how much of a restructuring of the roster that they had to make, and they did make this particular offseason. And, we'll get to our win prediction, and you guys can text it in as well, 913-586-7610, and that's always a fun thing for everybody to do this time of the year.
I don't like you to claim that they were going to win 89 if I don't have text evidence.
That's right. Yes, tweet us or text us, so that way when we're here in July or August, and you say, see, I said all along they were going to have a really special year, send us a text for that, please. No, but I think one factor in how you look at what you think this season can be too, Cody, is it's obvious for most teams, but I think specifically for this organization, that is the month of April, because it has been a massive problem for them, even in some years where they weren't as bad as last year with 56 wins. With the month of April and what that does for fans, what that does for even in the clubhouse, I would imagine, and in getting off to a good start. But I think it matters more for them, and it's tough. I mean, this particular season, they play 19 of their first 32, I should say, are against playoff teams from a year ago. That's how they start the season. 19 of 32 are against playoff teams. So you're going to be tested right away, and you're going to find out right away even though it's such a long season, if you're going to really continue to have that optimism past the month of April, because it doesn't guarantee you that you're going to be in the hunt in September. But boy, oh boy, we know how it goes here. If you all of a sudden are, 10 games under 500 after 1 month, it just kills the vibe and it kills any optimism.
You know what's funny is you can actually, believe it or not, you can actually somewhat eat into the Chiefs in September. Not for the first game, but you know what happened last September with the Chiefs? Something I had only now started to realize because it took a little while. Little early season fatigue where they're like, what is this, a September game? What am I supposed to break a sweat? Am I supposed to live or die by this game on September 14th for the Chiefs? I don't think so. You can't convince me to do it. Almost, right? Where if baseball matters again, you can. You can absolutely make people come back out to the park. And I think that's what I'm hopeful for, man. And I get it. This is the fourth to last opening day we are going to have at Kauffman.
No matter what happens.
Most likely, because they said, the Royals have said no matter what, they're not playing past, that they're not, they said that they're not playing here out of their lease. Now, maybe that would mean past 2028, but there's a chance this is the fourth to last. Pretty good chance, I think. This is the fourth to last opening day at Kauffman. I want it to feel special. Last year, do you remember how long it took them to score a run? A run? I mean, we were 3 days into the damn season looking for a run.
You want to bet that doesn't happen again?
No, they're going to score a run today.
I think they're going to score
I bet
over.
Vinny did a home run. It was my only bet.
They're going to score over 3.5, hopefully. We'll give out some bets later on in the show, not only today, but also season-long bets that we both kind of like and that you guys like heading into the season. But, yes, I did look. Their run total today over under 3.5.
Yeah, and look, I think that's a low enough total that I'm probably worth betting, but I just don't think it's going to go like that. As far as win total goes, we might as well just get it out of the way and get a number out there and explain why, okay? I thought long and hard about this. I battle between the homer level of fan that I am. Like, I'm just a fan. I'm a fan of the Royals, always have been.
Sure.
But they don't have the same, I just blindly give them like 12 wins like I do the Chiefs, right? They don't have that same level of
They've earned
success.
that on the Chiefs side.
Yeah, they have. And the Royals haven't, which is why I'm going to settle in on 76, which I would take. Like, I wouldn't be disappointed in that total. I'm hopeful for more, and I think there's 5 or 6 games on either side of that, hypothetically, low 70s or low 80s on either side, and that's why I settled on that number. I think it's a big swing for the Royals, depending on how the pitching actually performs, which is why when I was trying to decide the number, I settled in on 76. I really think it could be somewhere in that 70 to 80 range, so I just kind of came somewhere near the middle.
No, it makes sense. I mean, the optimism, as you said, on opening day sometimes clouds a little bit of the realistic expectation and what they're capable of. I know a lot of people will sit there and say, okay, they won 56 a year ago. So if you're going to bump them up to 76, which is where you're at, you're talking about a significant increase.
I am.
But we just told you.
That's 20 games, man.
No, I agree with you. By the way, I'm higher than 76, so I'm going to get to the number in a second. So no. I'm not saying it's crazy. What I was going to get to is what we started the show with, 5 minutes ago or whatever, which was how different the roster is. And so if you're going to have a 20-plus win difference, well, you better not just run it back, and they didn't.
No.
We just said it. There's only 7 of the same names on the opening day roster today that were on this time a year ago. And in particular, they went out, and to me, they have a big league rotation. I'm also factoring in what I think of the AL Central. I think they might be in the most competitive division.
Yeah, but the worst division.
But the worst. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it could end up being one of
like being the NFC South. It was the most competitive, but it was definitely the worst.
Exactly. So I think it could be the most competitive division in baseball. Not like the AL East where you got to win 95 games or whatever, but I think it could be the most competitive because, to me, if you think the Twins are the best team, and I think they are in the division, but are they 15 or 20 wins better? I'm not so sure about that. Are the Guardians better than you? Maybe so. Like, I have the Royals finishing third in the division with 78 wins. So what is that, 78 and 84, I guess? So that's where I have the Royals for this particular season. So I'm only 2 more wins than you. And trust me, I was tempted to go higher. I think 78 is a very optimistic number.
I guessed 80 last year. I was
it 80? You won 80 last year?
Yes.
I think 78, if you look at the pitching staff, if Cole Reagans is anywhere near what he was in the back half, if Vinny is healthy, there's a lot of ifs, but that's the beautiful thing about opening day. I think they have a rotation that can compete in this division, and nobody is dominant in this division. And so I'll go 78 and 84 for the Royals, which isn't going to be good enough to make the postseason, but boy, oh boy, it's going to set up plenty more optimism heading into the future because I think you're going to have some guys that end up stabilizing that you can count on that are not just named Bobby Wood Jr. I think you're going to, if they get to 78, like I'm saying, you're going to see MJ Melendez be the player he was in the second half last year, and you're going to see Vinny Pasquantino play a full, 140 games or whatever it's going to end up being for him.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, and that's such a big difference. Like, I know that Vinny, I know it's baseball, man. Like, team had Shohei Ohtani last year and didn't manage to come anywhere near playoff success, right? So you could have the best player in baseball and still only come up like maybe in the range, right? Like, oh, look, at least we weren't completely out of it. So one player doesn't make a difference, but losing a middle of the order bat on top of your rotation issues, it's easy. It's easy to be optimistic. I also happen to think in Major League Baseball careers, this tends to be the spot where people start hitting the sweet spot a little bit for hitters. Like Vinny and I think Massey or MJ and it's like if they're going to start hitting their stride, it's coming, especially for those guys. Now, Bobby hit his last year, and we can talk more about his expectations and what that means. But, like, when you go through what they were able to accomplish last year, you can see why what they weren't able to accomplish last year. You can see why looking at this year's roster makes you feel a lot better. It just does. The entire bullpen is different. A huge majority of the starting rotation is different. The lineup's got a middle-of-the-order guy back. Of course I feel better.
And we know the number in Vegas is, 73.5, so we both went over. Drew, what's yours? I think last year, obviously, you weren't here for opening day, and this is your first ever opening day, not just for the Royals, but first ever opening day. So what's your vibe of this team as you're learning more and more about the history in the city and where fans are at?
Ironically, I am right in between you guys. I said 77.
Wow, you already have this figured out?
I did. I typed this in there last night. I'm not just saying it. I am in between you guys, 77 and 85. I think for the reasons, a lot of what you guys said, if you look at the way that they finished the year in the back half, I think we see a lot more of that on a consistent basis. That's why I think they jumped 21 wins. And the goal is, I would say, if they can finish, I know they've got a tougher start compared to, and just on the face of the schedule, because they're playing some playoff team, a lot more playoff teams, more than half of the games early on. But if they can get to 500, 40 games in, or even 30 games in, I think there's a lot more buy-in that people are going to have come May and June with this group, and I think they get to 77.
So 76, 77, 78. That's where we're at on Cody and Gold.
After all that?
Yeah, I was thinking Drew was going to be like 70. I was honestly thinking you were going to say, guys, come on now. I was really thinking you were going to tell us 70 wins or something, which wouldn't be crazy either. Like, I mean, that is still a significant improvement. I just think the roster is that much better. So, Cody, you're at 76. Drew's at 77. I'm at 78 wins. You guys can text us in, text your win totals in to 913-586-7610. Oh, the opening day lineup just came out. I mean,
oh, baby.
You know how this goes.
Woo, let's hear it. Oh, come on.
Leading off, as expected, Michael Garcia. You got Bobby Witt Jr. batting second. Vinny's batting third. Salvi batting fourth. Melendez will be in the fifth spot, of course, playing left field. You got Renfroe sixth. Frazier in from Massey, who unfortunately is going to start the season on the IL most likely when they make that official later today. Then Velasquez is your DH, and batting ninth at center field, Kyle Isbell, man. It's kind of what you expected. No surprises at all.
No, that's about right. I don't have any complaint about that. But, yeah, aren't you excited? You didn't sound excited about that opening day lineup. You think it's overrated?
I think the overall, I've told you, this goes back to the rotation order and all that. That stuff gets overrated. Yeah, I mean, also the lineup, we there's no surprise.
I think it means something to the player.
Well, sure. You asked me, though. Sure. The player, it matters. Cole Reagan spoke extremely highly about the opportunity and what it means to him as a young kid wanting to play baseball to get the opening day nod. I think, no doubt, if you're a player. I'm just saying, I don't need to read into the starting lineup today, or the batting order today.
As far as what it means?
Yeah, we knew Garcia was leading off. Bobby should be batting second. It's nice to see Vinny back in the lineup. We haven't seen Vinny in a lineup since, other than spring training, since May of last year, right? Isn't that when he got hurt?
Yeah.
So it's been, I'm sure for him, it's probably emotional to see his name on the lineup card in a big league game on opening day again. But yeah, hopefully, I'll be curious to see. Honestly, we'll talk about this later in the show, I know, but with Frazier batting behind Renfroe and just ahead of Velasquez. And depending on what Frazier does, what that means for Massey's long-term outlook and everything, they brought in Frazier for a reason. veteran presence and somebody that if Massey can't stay healthy or if the bat doesn't heat up for Massey and things like that, is he somebody that potentially could end up taking over that job? But it's just unfortunate. It sucks for Massey that he's going to start the season unavailable.
I just don't think that there's going to be – and, yeah, it does. But I was thinking more about that. And I think if they were going to give the job away for Massey, they would have done it to start, to start this year. The plan was always Massey. They saw enough from Massey last year, Gold, to keep exploring that as their permanent second base option. I think he helped himself by playing such great defense across the board. Hey, should we boo when the Twins walk in? What's the vibe there? Could I just boo? Is that – I mean, no one else is doing it, but maybe we could start something?
There's a line of Royals fans. And
what if we just booed?
I think if it was a playoff game, you could get the fans on board. I don't think anybody's really
you think if I booed, it'd just be me?
Yes. I don't think if booing, Pablo Lopez, who's the Twins starter today, I don't know if that's going to do much for anybody. Now, if it was a playoff series, yes.
Playoff series, we boo.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Absolutely.
We don't throw things we don't like, nothing derogatory, right? Nothing, you don't need to flip him the bird. Just a simple boo.
Yeah.
Just a simple, we know who you are, and you're not welcome.
Yeah, not what you tried to do last year. I mean, man, you were out there, and against what was the Tigers? I think it was. They were in town, and it was disrespectful. The harassment and everything.
Me?
Yeah, just flipping them off and everything.
Well, screw the Tigers. That's how I feel about it. And I don't feel bad for them at all. If I did do that, and that's at least plausible. No, the most I've ever booed at the stadium in my entire life was Cano.
Oh, well, that was warranted.
That was a moment,
that was
man.
incredible.
That was an incredible.
On television. I wasn't in person for that one, but on TV it was incredible. It was the whole Billy Butler thing. Yeah, it was.
That was that
so
same
good.
game I told you I knocked over Ryan Howard's kid. Same day.
No, it's still
what a day for me,
still an all-timer.
Just absolutely railroaded Ryan Howard's kid. I got a photo of me and Ryan Howard, and I look belligerently drunk.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then I booed Cano. Jumped right in there. This is, by the way, you had asked me before the show. This is the most exciting you have been for an opening day since?
Yeah,
Give me a year. Give me a blank.
I think it has to be since probably 2017. And even then it was probably trending downward. But after the World Series year in 2016, look, you're coming off a championship. So you're pumped to continue the celebration. They're wearing the gold lettered jerseys or whatever after the 2015 year. So probably truly 2016.
That was the stuff.
Right, I was here for that. Like a lot of people,
to watch the flag go up.
You wanted to see that. That was a special. So that's the answer then. Because of the ceremony after the World Series, it was probably 2016. But if you separate like just that, then I guess 2017. Think about that. We're in 2024 now, so it has been a very long time. But that's what's exciting about opening day this year.
No, I think that's. I still think 2017 might have held some juice for me. But I still think I'm more excited for this one. Because by 2017, the problem was the end was near. And we knew the end was near. So I was excited, but for a different reason. Like in 2017, it's like, well, this is the last opening day that any of these guys, any of the ones who are still left, right? This is the last opening day that any of these guys are still going to be on the roster. Because by the time halfway through the year hits or a year from now hits, for everybody who maybe hadn't left, they're going to be gone soon enough. So it was a somber excitement, if that makes sense. Like, I'm excited to see these guys one more time. Yeah, but I also know that this is probably one more time. That's how I felt in 2017. 16, I still thought they might win the World Series again,
I think
there was unbridled optimism then, but for a different reason, 17, but certainly not 18, 19, 21, 22, no. And I went to opening day the COVID year. It was me and 14 media members and Slugger. And I was kind of excited for that one because it was like freakazoid game. There's literally nobody in the stadium, but that one was depressing as hell.
Yeah, for way that was just weird for obvious reasons with that. I think not only is it the rotation and the moves they made this offseason, it's also an opening day right after the team gave out a massive extension, and the largest extension in club history.
Yeah.
With Bobby Wood Jr., it's the first game since he's gotten his extension. It's the first game since, yes, Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo were signed. There's the offseason in terms of free agent acquisitions, but it's also coupled with knowing that now there's not any doubt and worry. Like the star player, one of the best players in baseball, period, Bobby Wood Jr.
That helps with the
is locked in. And so I think that adds to that. And I think it's pretty obvious he's going to get, once again, like last year, but even more so today, he'll end up with the loudest ovation of any Royals player. I know Vinny's will be loud too because it'll be the first time he steps in the batter's box at the K since the injury. But I think clearly Bobby Wood Jr., I'm excited for that moment today. If we're talking about individual
Oh, his
individual
cheer
moments.
when he steps to the plate?
Yeah.
Second hitter,
right
bottom
off
of the
the
first.
contract. Yeah.
It's easy to forget because there's been a whole Chiefs Super Bowl run in that amount of time, so you start forgetting how long it's been since you've been to the K. Baseball's so much Like, I love the speed of the game.
Oh, the pitch clock stuff is one of the best things baseball's ever done. I know we criticize baseball and we criticize Manfred, but boy, oh boy, that last year
it straight up made the sport better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, there's just no argument for it. It made the sport better, more enjoyable. This is what's funny about, like, we talked about NFL rule changes and how college was looking to, do we need to have more replays? Every sport, when they saw the increased viewership and attendance in their sport, once the game got shorter, should have taken that to heart and been like, okay, real quick, NFL, how do we make our sport shorter? Because I understand we get a lot of eyeballs now, the most in the country. We could have more. We could have even more if we found a way to truncate part of this system down into a more fine number. And baseball was as simple as baseball used to be played the way it's played now. It wasn't that complicated. We just let people slowly Nomar Garcia-Parra it to death to the point that you weren't stepping into the plate until you had adjusted your gloves 67 times, tapped the plate 94 times, and then stepped into the dish.
Yeah, no, I mean, it got to be ridiculous. And so that was we experienced it last year, of course, for the first time, but that was fantastic, and that continues to be something that's going to be nice. You have a better idea when this game first pitch 3:10 right here on 610. You got a good idea when you're getting out of the ballpark these days versus before. I mean, it could have been 7:30. You never would have known because of what wasn't prohibited at the time. 913-586-7610. Someone says, you guys are 20 minutes into a show outside the studio. Is this a miracle? Well, yesterday was some bad luck. That's all. Yesterday was some bad luck. We're smooth sailing, I think, today. It's opening day. It's a new day.
Did you really want to have said that only a half hour into the show?
I'm reading the text, Cody.
That we are smooth sailing? No, you said we're smooth sailing.
Oh, we're smooth, yeah.
We got kicked off the air yesterday. You want to say it that early?
Yes, because here's why I can say it. Is you and I both know there's a different sound when things are going well. And we got the smooth signal. We got the smooth sound. Drew sounds much clearer today.
You sound like you're a jazz DJ. Smooth sound. He sounds coming your way for the next 4 hours.
Yeah, we told Drew, though, if something were to happen, to just go through all 162 and give his prediction for all. To get to his 77 win mark, I want to know exactly the 77 that he thinks the Royals are winning. So if something were to happen, he's prepared. He's done his homework.
Drew, what's your favorite promotion this year? Have you gone through the promotional schedule? That's a big part of the producer's job, to know every promotion for the entire year, you know? Maybe it's today. Maybe it's the Bobby Wood Jr. bobblehead. Tough to beat.
That one I actually am excited about. But there is a jacket that they're giving away. I can't remember the day.
Was it the one I sent out? That 90s retro-y looking one?
Yeah.
That's a good looking jacket. I like
the retro
that
jacket, because you and I and Gold were looking through, I don't remember how long ago, a couple weeks ago, through the promotional schedule, and that one popped up. I was like, man, that's a nice jacket. Okay. That one will be good.
Well, I do like that one. I wonder what the 610 day at the K giveaway will be this year. What was it last year? Was that the black jersey year, or was that 2 years ago?
That was 2 years ago.
There was, they had just regular navy blue T-shirts. That had,
that's right.
They had Slugger on it. They had a couple other players, I think, on it, something like that.
Yep, you're right. You're right, Drew. Okay. I'm just asking. I'm looking forward to all the Charlie Hustle T-shirts.
Yeah,
I think those are cool.
Plenty of those throughout the season. But yes, today, first 30,000 through the gate get that Bobby Wood Jr. bobblehead.
And the first 11 to 12 people at Gate D, who are the appropriate size, get a Cody and Gold T-shirt.
That's right. That's the favorite promotion.
That's the favorite promotion.
Rare, limited edition.
Yeah, way harder to get. 30,000 people are going to get a bobblehead.
Those are 2020 shirts, so those are pretty soon going to be vintage type of T-shirts. We're going to have a new run on T-shirts, I think, in the next year.
And Charlie Hustle help us out?
Might have to do something with that. All right, we are live though outside Kauffman Stadium, outside Gate D, opening day. We'll get right back to baseball in just a second, but I do want to talk a little bit about the big signing yesterday across the parking lot for the Chiefs.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health,
Clear.
the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and
I don't know if you heard me or not, but you're good.
at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
On your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
The weekend. 2 whole days for you to sit back, relax, and clean some gutters. Ah, the joy of scooping up soggy, gunky, muddy sludge. And if you're really lucky, you may find your dog's old crusty tennis ball covered in leaves. Where did they all come from anyway? You don't even own a tree. Forget the weekends. Mo Money Mondays are here. New scratchers, new chances to win. Every last Monday of the month. Only from the Missouri Lottery.
Play responsibly.
Okay, I know I can't be alone on this. Is anyone else behind on their Easter prep? Because it snuck up on me. Good thing I went to Kohl's. I found Sephora beauty finds for under $25 that'll be perfect for my girls' baskets. And I saved 40% on cute dresses for them too. Then I got myself a stylish dress for 20% off, plus an extra 15% off. Oh, and I earned Kohl's cash. Kohl's saves the day again. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Sephora and kids' Easter looks. Coupons do not apply. 15% offer ends March 30th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love. Because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Heartland Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 2 offices, Overland Park, Kansas, and Independence, Missouri.
Do you or a loved one have vitiligo? Vitiligo causes white patches to appear on the skin. A new research study is evaluating an investigational therapy for vitiligo patients with darker skin types. If you have vitiligo on your face or body, have a medium to dark skin type, and are able to attend up to 14 clinic visits in Kansas City over 12 months, you may be eligible. There is no cost to participate and no requirement to have insurance. Eligible patients may be reimbursed for their time. Visit 105study.com for more information. That's 105study.com.
At LL Floyd, we've been a trusted partner to pros for over 30 years. With over 400 nationwide warehouses full of in-stock, job-ready inventory, you'll get what you need. And our exclusive pro pricing means that pros never pay retail. Because at LL Floyd, all we do is floors. So we're going to do it right. Sign up for a free pro account today to start getting pro benefits. LL Flooring. Every step covered.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The good folks at Wendy's have a revolutionary new product for you. Introducing the new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. It's like a time machine that takes you all the way back to now, the year 2024. It's the classic creamy, orangey flavor you remember. Dare I say, it's new-timey. It's the flavor you grew up with, just all grown up. Head over to your local Wendy's establishment and get yours while supplies last. The new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. Here for the now, for now.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's.
Hey, I got a question for you. You hate bending over to put on your shoes? Wish you could just put them on standing or sitting without ever having to touch them? If so, then I have the shoe for you. Introducing new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins. With new Skechers Slip-ins, you just step in and off you go. You don't even need to lace up. So how do Skechers Slip-ins work? Well, there's a special smooth comfort pillow in the heel that helps your foot slide right into place. So just step in them and go. Find new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins for the whole family at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Meet
2 minutes.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Progressive asks, what do a late-night pizza craving,
Pizza place. Can I get 1 large pepperoni pizza?
a newly licensed teen delivery driver, a guaranteed delivery time or it's free offer, and your front fence have in common?
Uh-oh.
That's my fence!
They can turn your stomach upside down in under 30 minutes.
I'm still getting a tip, right?
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Danny Green, 3-time NBA champ. You either rooted for me or rooted against me. Join myself and my co-host Harrison Sanford on the Inside the Green Room podcast.
It's a podcast that brings you never-before-told tales from the locker room to candid interviews with basketball legends to breakdowns of what's happening in the NBA right now. Whether you're a diehard fan or casual about your hoops, this podcast brings you the game like never before.
Follow Inside the Green Room on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your
15 seconds.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Partly sunny and warmer today with a high of 54.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
Mike's on.
Back here outside Kauffman Stadium, specifically Gate D, getting set for opening day. 3:10 first pitch. Just saw our guy Josh Vernier make his way inside the K.
Sure did.
He'll be joining us at 12:30 today, and then, of course, his on-deck show at 2 o'clock. And you'll start hearing Vern every single day, basically. For the next 5 months or whatever it comes out to be. Hopefully a little bit longer if things really get special. So looking forward to getting Vern's insight in the noon hour. Again, in the 11 o'clock hour today, we're expected to have the general manager of the Kansas City Royals, J.J. Piccolo, join us. I did want to briefly pivot across the parking lot, though, to Arrowhead. We are looking right at it.
Hey, Columbite's proper name. That's GEHA Field.
That's where so we're actually looking where the activation zone would be. Under your favorite part.
Are we standing on it?
No, we're not standing on it, but that's where if things pass.
You know that's my least favorite part.
I know, that's why I brought it up. If it passes the vote I'm talking about in Jackson County, of course, on Tuesday, right there, this area where it could be where we're standing in a way, in the middle of the parking lot over there would be where your turf concert stage activation zone.
Maybe it'll be cooler than the image. I don't know. Look, I'll say, and I know we're going to talk about the stadium stuff because there was more out yesterday as they were signing the lease agreements. It will be weird when they're not in the same parking lot anymore. Like, we're sitting here at Kauffman, and I'm looking right at Arrowhead. It'll be weird when that is no longer the case. It's going to confuse me a little bit. But since we're mentioning the Chiefs, and we can get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about someone they signed yesterday.
A superstar. in one sport.
In rugby. Yeah, over in England. And the name, admittedly, we listened to 4 different broadcasts.
Yeah, we did.
2 from Sky News, and they pronounced his name differently each time. Louis Reese Zammit. One report said Luis.
Mm-hmm.
One said Louis. We're going with Louis. Louis Reese Zammit for now. He's signed with the Chiefs. It'll be official, I guess, tomorrow, but according to Jordan Schultz, it's going to happen. He worked out for a couple other teams. Yes, he's a rugby star, and Jordan Schultz reporting that he'll play running back or wide receiver. Now, this is a zero-risk type of signing, and I'll be honest, going to be fun for us when we're up at training camp, and I care about that. So that's what we also get out of this. We get a fun story of a rugby player trying to make it in the NFL, and with the new kickoffs, you know what? Maybe he's got a role there some way. You know, some lower body strength. Maybe he's the guy we can have do some QB sneaks, some running back dives on 4th and 1.
Have you seen a rugby scrum?
That's what I'm saying.
Of course he could do a QB sneak.
This would be perfect. So I'm all about the idea, whether it was Tobe, Andy Reid, and he doesn't count against your roster because he's an international guy. Worst comes to worst, he's on the practice squad. There's no harm in this move at all.
And the practice squad, he doesn't count against your roster. It's a freebie because he's through the international program for a year. He's a free player to your 90-man roster, which would be big. As someone who played rugby, I think I can uniquely speak on this in Kansas City. Name one other Kansas City radio personality who has physically played in a rugby game. That's why I can talk.
Okay.
And we played the same position.
Oh, gosh.
Not equally as well. Turns out, I was on it. You just get hit all the time in that position because that's the guy who touches the ball first, second, or third. So kind of opening yourself up to get your ass kicked a little bit. Between that and scrum half, which is the other position I played. Look, I love this signing, not just because it gives a fun training camp story, because I do. I think it's actually kind of disrespectful what our boss said yesterday, which is this is rugby Weston Dressler. This is English Weston Dressler. This has a far better chance of success. He's not just a good rugby player. He's one of the best rugby players in the world. And that skill set, parts of those skill sets, do transfer. I don't think he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I'm laughing because yes, you're not wrong. I'm laughing because the best case scenario is what? He makes the team.
He makes the team.
Okay, all right.
He's a 400 all-purpose player, and he returns kicks.
As long as we're okay, I'm with you. As long, I was making sure.
What do you think? I'm getting ready to say he's going to go for 1,000 yards this year?
I just wanted. Hey, we all saw the Justin Ross stuff last training camp.
Oh, you're worried I'm falling into that trap?
Yes. Which, by the way,
closer. This is way more exciting than Justin Ross ever was.
100%. I would rather have a storyline at camp of a rugby star trying to make it in the NFL than a guy that had one really amazing season in college and has been hurt. You know, this is way more entertaining to me. So I'm all about it. Good. And if you're him, this also does prove, if we're being real, just about the path the Chiefs are going to continue to have with the success that they are on, which is anytime there's a fringe guy that's, maybe an intriguing prospect, or whether it's international or not, if the Chiefs are interested in you, if you're Louis Rees-Zammit, of course you're picking the Chiefs over the Broncos or whoever the else
more fun.
was into his services. Of course.
By the way, according to this, like half the damn league. That's another reason why you should be more excited than just Justin Ross. Is it a guarantee he makes the roster? No. But I'll say this, Gold. If he makes the roster, he's got a better chance of being successful in the offense than Justin Ross ever did. Because Andy loves players who have the skill set of this player. Oh, he can catch a little. Oh, he can run a little. Oh, he can do weirdo kick nonsense. He loves...
I was like, what player has Andy ever had this like this?
No. Well, he just likes a gadget guy.
Yeah.
He likes having a gadget guy. So if he makes the roster, part of me thinks he's made the roster as the gadget guy, And look, I'll be honest. Their last couple of gadget guys, like Kadarius Toney, who we thought might have a chance to be successful in this offense, he looks like if Kadarius Toney went through the Captain America machine, dude, he's triple his damn size. And he's fast and all those other... And I get it. Someone said in a rugby match he ran like 24.5 miles per hour, I think, last year. Not in pads. So not the same. But that would be one of the fastest times put on an NFL football field last year. So with pads, does he run 21, 22? He's fast enough. He's skilled enough. I'm interested enough to see the absolute dart throw.
Totally,
I would call a massive win 400 all-purpose yards.
Yeah, I mean, I think
return guy.
It's just a hell of a story if he makes the team, is where I'm at. Because you're right, if he makes the team, it clearly means Andy Reid has some sort of plan for him. Maybe Dave Tobe is intrigued by it, and with the new kickoff rules, you're talking about having players not be able to move until the ball is actually, kicked, or until the receiver catches the football.
Yeah.
Having someone that's capable of helping you in that circumstance due to his experience in a scrum, and with his he did one thing. I don't know anything about rugby. The one thing that I did see watching video, he seems fast as hell. So
he does look fast.
You got some speed on the roster. Add some more speed to the roster, and hopefully we get a chance to talk to him up at training camp. That's what I want. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think so. I hope that.
I'm guessing he'll be available.
You
Maybe.
think so?
You never know.
I mean,
He might become too big of a star already. And then we don't get him on the show.
He's already too big of a star?
No, I'm joking.
Where does he rank on the most handsome of the...
someone tweeted at me that he's most eligible bachelor, maybe, all of a sudden, just like that in Kansas City.
Well, he's super muscular and handsome. He's got a foreign accent.
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely serves him.
Yeah, that was the first thing somebody tweeted at me. I'm serious. Like, the first mention in my thing is most eligible bachelor now.
Also, his nickname is Reese Lightning, which is
that's phenomenal. Oh, if he turns out to be anything, the fact that Rees-Zammit is quickly, gets you into a lot of different puns you can come up with. It's phenomenal. So I hope he makes the team already.
If he makes the team, I'm going to already lock me in.
Okay.
If Rees-Zammit makes the team, I will cover Grease Lightning with his name.
Okay, I thought you were going to...
His nickname is Reese Lightning. I'll cover the song.
Will you get a custom
Grease
jersey?
Lightning.
Will you get a custom jersey of his as well while you're singing it and do a music video?
Yes. I'll get a custom jersey made from our friends at Rally House. By the way, if you need your Royals gear before heading to opening day, head over there, and I will do a cover of the song Grease Lightning. Dusty pointed out to me last night that his nickname was Reese Lightning. It's just a complete layup, man. That's the easiest song cover ever, but he's got to make the roster. I don't just give out freebies to non-roster
And
players.
that's still a big if, but why not? It's a dart throw. You got nothing to lose if you're the Chiefs. And if you're him, of course you pick the Chiefs. Pick the most innovative head coach over the last 20-plus years that happens to be going for a three-peat. Yeah, my first opportunity, and maybe your only opportunity to make it in the NFL if you're him, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Chiefs. That seems like a great spot. And that proves what the Chiefs are doing. That if you're I think it's why they also got Hollywood Brown on the one-year deal. He wasn't signing that same deal somewhere else. This is the advantage the Chiefs have right now with Mahomes, with Andy Reid, and going for a three-peat and being in the middle of a dynasty. You're going to be able to sign these players that are more dart throwish, but also a lot of teams are kind of interested and intrigued by. That player's going to likely choose you over everybody else.
Which is great news, I guess, for all of us involved. Gold. All of us involved.
Someone said the Chiefs now have like 5 kickers on the team. They got Butker, they got Ariza, who can also kick. Not
Rugby
just
players can all kick.
They've got Lewis Reese Zammit, and they have Justin Reed. So they're set. They got plenty of backup kickers if something were to happen in game. I like that spot.
Kickers.
Plenty of backup kickers.
How many backup kickers do you need,
They got
man?
plenty, more than you could ever ask for.
Okay.
They're set.
Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. That if the Chiefs get to their 5th backup kicker,
his dad played in NFL Europe.
He did. Yeah.
You know.
Did he play for the Rain Fire?
I don't know which team.
That's
I
my
don't
squad.
know which team. I was listening to an interview that he was doing, and he mentioned his dad played in NFL Europe. I don't remember for what team.
This is also why the NFL is trying to expand overseas, by the way, is they want to attract, because the best athletes overseas play soccer. We know that. Gold, right? I mean, you've seen how high Ronaldo can jump. The best athletes overseas play soccer. And they're like, what if those guys played football instead? What if you big, strong, fast, tall guys all, because he's 6'3". Like, the way you watch him run, you would kind of, because he's built like a bulldog or whatever, you kind of think that maybe he's a little bit shorter, Gold. He's 6'3", over 200 pounds. So I mean, he's not like a small guy. It's not the gadget guy that's 5'7". He's not Dexter McCluster. He's like quadruple Dexter McCluster's size, which does make a difference.
So that's the signing the Chiefs made, and that'll be a fun one to watch over the next couple months, especially once we get up to training camp in St. Joe. Another signing in the division, though, happened yesterday, and it was a name that Drew had brought up a lot, Josh Reynolds. And now that we know the contract details, I'm actually a little surprised that if we ever find out that, were the Chiefs really interested in Josh Reynolds, because the Broncos signed the former Lions wide receiver, a two-year deal worth a maximum of $14 million.
Okay.
And he had a 5-touchdown season last year, and he's now going to be catching passes from an unknown quarterback in Denver, which is interesting for him to sign a 2-year deal there. I think the fact that he doesn't really even know who his quarterback
makes
is.
me think that was the best money he got offered.
That's what. Yeah. So were the Chiefs? Were the Chiefs ever pursuing him? I don't know.
Maybe they tell him we're getting ready to draft J.J. McCarthy. Man, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, look, 2 years, 14. I would have been interested in that at that price. I would have been very interested. I mean, Hollywood Brown signed 1 year for 7, 1 year for 11 with incentives. Josh Reynolds is 2 for 14 with incentives. So it might be 2 years, $9 million. It might be 2 years, $10 million.
Sure. I think that's what actually gives me confidence that even though, like, you're right, had you just laid that deal out in front of me, Gold, because you and I have both stated that we want an extra wide receiver, an extra veteran wide receiver, so they've got even more flexibility in the draft, and just to ensure that if there is an injury for Hollywood Brown, which has been the case a lot lately, they have protection. But the fact that Josh Reynolds was that cheap makes me think that the wide receiver market has finally cratered. It was out of control for a little while, and the Chiefs got the best deal on the market. And what I think has finally happened is, okay, now we're back to the real deals. The normal deals, the reasonable ones, the ones the Royals can and will afford. So maybe it's not Josh Reynolds, but now I think that there are available options at that price point that don't concern me. It didn't have to be Josh Reynolds for me. I know that was Drew's guy, but there's a lot of that level veteran receiver that I might be more interested in 1 for $5 anyway.
Yeah, what like a Michael Gallup type.
Yeah.
Michael Gallup, I'm assuming
exactly
is getting a small 1 year, $4.5 million plus incentives get you to 7 type of deal. So there's definitely some. If you're just looking to add another veteran to fill out the roster, plus you draft a guy, I think you're good. Because let's go through it. I mean, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown. There's 1, 2. Whoever they draft, as long as it's one of the first 2 rounds, is probably your 3 next year.
Yep.
Your 4 right now
is Justin Watson.
So
you'd love to shove him further down.
And Sky Moore's like your 5th, and we haven't even mentioned Tony, who, yes, is still on the roster. I don't know what the plan is there. To me, Sky Moore and Tony, I think they'll both.
Once they signed Reese Zammit, he was gone.
My guess is because there's no harm in holding on to Sky Moore. He's on a rookie deal. My guess is you have Tony and Sky still up at camp with you, and then you make a decision from there. Somebody else emerges, and maybe you're able to trade them for nothing, essentially. Maybe someone gets cut. To me, there's no harm in bringing Tony and Sky Moore to camp, though. I know some people just want them gone. There's no harm with bringing
starting to get a little
to camp.
crowded, but yeah, you get 90 man to go to camp. So.
And Sky Moore is not making any money, really. So there's no problem with that.
And Tony cost you just as much to get rid of as he keeps
$2 million,
to hold on.
something like that.
Yeah, I mean he's $2 million to cut or keep. You don't save a dime, but if he's not the right fit for your team, I don't feel that way either. Have we officially? I think I had seen this pointed out, and I don't remember who now. And I guess I probably am there. What's funny is I'd still be open to taking a wide receiver in the first round because I don't think you always have to take your number one need in the first round. You want high need, high fit, high talent in the first round for me. But we're officially at the point now, right, that the weakest unit on the roster is not wide receiver anymore. Like, as it sits right now, the weakest unit on the roster is not wide receiver. It's offensive tackle.
Well, yeah, because right now
Donovan Smith, or not Donovan Smith, Wanye Morris and Jawan Taylor is worse than the 1-2 punch of Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown.
So I think at the top layer, yes, I think the depth, though, tackle doesn't have any depth right now either, but the depth at wide receiver is still probably the biggest question now because and this goes for a lot of teams, but all of a sudden you lose either Rice or Hollywood Brown and you're in big trouble. Now I could go through probably half the league and make the same argument, but that's why I think they still need to draft one and why I would like them to bring in another veteran.
Same.
Because if Rice had to miss 3 weeks, I'd be, you start to get
Hollywood
really
more likely, but yes, either way you don't want it.
Yeah, whoever.
Or if your fear that Kelsey's aging slowly creeps up, then you need even more protection at wide receiver, which factors into your decision. But the worst unit is the offensive tackle. I mean, that's the weakest unit on the team. Corner, what's funny enough is they traded away L'Jarius Sneed. It might be what? The fifth? Like, what? I mean, running back is weaker than corner right now. Wide receiver is probably still weaker. Tackle's still weaker. I'd argue defensive line, corner might be one of the strongest, deepest units on the team. Hell, it might still be one of the deepest in the entire AFC. That's why they could get rid of Snead. The more and more I do that exercise, I look at unit by unit where I still think they need help. Corner is below.
Well, it helps when McDuffie might be consensus by the end of the year the best corner in football.
Yeah, you and I already think he is. But
so if he ends up being that by the end of the year, and then you bring in Jalen Watson, who we found out after the season, he was dealing with the torn labrum or whatever it was, for much of the year. But his rookie season, he kind of came out of nowhere and was a huge
He'd overtaken Joshua Williams for a good chunk of that season.
Yeah, so I think you have to feel good still 1, 2, 3 with the cornerback room, and then I don't know, do they draft someone in the mid to late round again? Do they have another veteran like Mike Edwards type? Not him. He already signed with Buffalo, but someone similar to that later on in the offseason. I could see something like that playing out.
I also think they might play Cook and Shamari Connor more and draft another rookie safety in the 4th.
For safety, sure, yeah.
Corner. But, even that, Connor might be able to play a little split. He lined up in the slot a couple of times last year. Maybe they're thinking more hybrid role anyway. More teams have gone away. They've gone more safety corner split than true corner in some spot because of the tackling and because of everything is single high with hybrid players. Everyone gives up 15 yards on routes because they don't want you to beat you over the top. The game's just changed a little bit. So until somebody starts attacking the way the teams have built these defensive rosters, I just don't think it's going to look the same.
Someone said, don't forget, guys, Nico Remigio or whatever, and Justin Remigio. Am I saying that right? I think
that's right.
Remigio.
No, it was Remigio.
Yeah, and Justin Ross. Those are the two people keep texting in. Yep, they'll be at camp as well.
Yeah, can't wait.
But we already go ahead.
Who has a better chance of being on the roster, Justin Ross or Kadarius Toney next year?
Kadarius Toney, just because of the money. Just because of the money. I don't need either. But if you're forcing me, I think we have to consider the financial aspect of it. But I truly don't know how you can go into next year and have Kadarius Toney still on the team. I don't. But I'll go with the guy that's making $2 million. That would cost you $2 million to cut versus the other guy that cost you basically pennies if he's not on the team.
Yeah, my guess is.
I think both aren't going to be on the team.
I think neither. Honestly, neither. If I said who had a better chance. It's probably Tony. I mean, I hope we're not having that conversation. And two-time Super Bowl defending champ, I really don't want to be thinking about Tony anymore. I'll be honest. I'd rather be thinking about Louis or Lewis or whichever version of his name it is.
Reese Zammit.
You think it's because he's coming to America? Let's go Lewis.
Well, multiple news outlets overseas.
But one called him Louis.
The same outlet called him two different names. That's the problem.
Okay, if he has 1,000 yards, we buy a bottle of Louis XIV for Club 6.
If he has 1,000 yards next season, yes.
We buy a bottle
as
of
a
Louis
show.
XIV
We'll all chip
for
in.
the
Yes,
show.
yes.
seem
Cody,
like
yes.
that
I mean,
seemed like a good
you
deal.
thought Champagne Lyles was a bet. This one, I no stress. No
You
stress.
said yes so fast.
Yes.
What's a bottle of Louis XIV?
He's not getting 1,000 yards from scrimmage.
Damn, dude! If he was
this
at like 600 in week 8, we would be sweating.
It's the same thing with the Justin. I made a bet with you for Justin Watson last year.
Yeah.
Would he lead the team in receiving? He did for like 5 weeks.
He did for a little bit.
And we were safe.
Louis XIII.
A bottle of Louis the. Oh
yeah. What's the price here?
Okay.
$4,000.
Oh, jeez.
I'm seeing higher than that.
Okay. Well, how about $1,000 or more bottle of something? I don't know if it'll be.
Maybe we can just buy a bottle. The bottle empty.
That's
Maybe we just get
that's
the
fair.
empty.
That's true. All you said is buy a bottle. That's
Yeah.
actually what I should have
And
done.
then just fill it up with cognac.
Like you guys said, just bring a bottle of it. You didn't say it had to have that in it. Just a bottle of it.
Yeah, just $4,000 price tag right now. I can get on winesearcher.com. So it's 1,000, $1,500 each. So
someone says, "What about if you include kickoffs? Maybe he gets there."
No, we were never including kickoffs.
It's got to be. It's.
That was on purpose.
It's
I was giving him rushing receiving.
Yeah. And if we put it even with kickoffs, we're probably safe. But that gets a little dicey. All of a sudden, he takes 2 back to the house.
This audio is going to be painful to us.
Just becomes a superstar kick returner in the league out of nowhere.
No, kick return. That's way too easy to get to
Someone
1,000.
says $2,300 for a bottle at Bubbles.
Oh, okay. Bubbles got us for 23. Dude, we've practically knocked this price down. Are you kidding? That's $700 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
If he makes the team, I think he gets into the end zone at least once.
On some weirdo trick play.
Yes.
God, could you imagine?
Or if they
I did not
actually
realize
put
how
a kick
expensive
return,
that
he
bottle
finds
was.
a way
I
to
was
take
thinking
one.
like maybe like $500.
That's.
I was not thinking $2,500. That's a slightly different price point. Like I gotta be honest, I don't think Pure is gonna donate that one.
No, they would probably help us pour it again, and but they're not providing the bottle. Yeah, I don't think that was very nice of them to provide the bottle of Dom last go around. And I hope the Royals. We're here on opening day, obviously, and people are lined up at the gates already. The gates don't open until noon, so about an hour from now, and there are people already lined up, getting set. First 30,000 get the Bobby Wood Jr. bobblehead. But I was saying is that hopefully the pitching staff is so much better that there is no pitcher that we're sitting here in June or July and saying, all right, we're going to start doing a bet based off of how many more wins he's going to get. Hopefully that's not the problem.
Ideally not.
Yeah,
no.
Jordan Lyles, I think, was like 1-13 to start or something like that.
If Zamet makes the roster, and people are like gushing about him in training camp, and all of a sudden it's like, no, they're really going to use him as running back too. He is the backup to Isaiah Pacheco. Then we're going to need to place a bet to cover this cost. Like we're just going to have to place
a hedge.
Whatever the alt line for total yards for Zamet is. I feel like
that'll even be available, Cody.
Offshore?
Maybe.
Offshore, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe we could just find a shady person who would take our bet.
I mean, if we're being real, the percentage, and we can have months to talk about this. But like right now, the percentage chance of Zamet making the active roster is probably still like 15%.
Slim to none.
Yeah, I mean, I might be generous.
That might be generous.
Yeah, that
it might be more like 3 to 5%.
Yeah, and I would probably be very generous by saying 15%.
Yeah, I would think so.
I haven't seen him play yet. We'll see.
I've seen him play rugby.
That's it.
He runs kind of like he runs a little bit like Pacheco, where it looks like his legs are moving faster than his body. He looks fast, but he's got those churning.
The 40-yard time, would you say he is absolutely fast? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was impressive.
All right, coming up next, we get right back into the Royals and the Chiefs a little bit. A press conference yesterday with some of the lease agreements and some of our favorite season-long Royals bets as we continue broadcasting live outside Gate D at Kauffman Stadium.
Hey, it's Vinny Pasquantino. Don't forget to follow Cody and Gold on the Odyssey app so you can listen on demand to my terrific football takes throughout the year right here on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want to do this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking long-lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk and run and climb stairs and play golf and move again pain-free. No pain pills, no risky surgery. This is an all-natural solution. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied claim their mobility. Take action now and live your best life this spring and summer. And it's a great use of your tax refund check. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
So I was looking at some old photos the other day, and I realized here in 2 months, it's going to be 3 years since I got rid of my contacts or glasses. So 3 years ago, almost, I made what turned out to be a very important phone call and led to one of the best decisions ever. That was getting rid of contacts and glasses. That's because I called up DuraVision, the best in Kansas City for my vision needs, and found out I was a candidate for LASIK. I went in for a consultation, and the staff and doctors were super knowledgeable. They make you feel comfortable. They take all these images of your eyes, and they lay out a plan for you, a plan that can tell you what the future could hold for your vision needs. And for me, it's resulted in now almost 3 years of seeing better than I ever have and not needing contacts or glasses. It's simply been amazing. And honestly, you forget sometimes that you actually wore contacts or glasses until you look at an old photo like I did. So you can take that step like I did. Call up DuraVision, 913-491-3330, or go online to DuraVision.com.
Baseball season's here, and it's time to spring into action to get into shape and feel great. Hey, it's Bob Fesco inviting you to discover Johnson Fitness and Wellness Stores. Their expert staff will find the best home fitness equipment for your unique fitness goals, space, and budget. Find top-rated treadmills, ellipticals, strength equipment, rowers, exercise bikes, and mention 610 Sports Radio to get a free Kinamassager with the purchase of any massage chair or matrix equipment. Hit a home run with in-home workouts and find the nearest location at johnsonfitness.com.
It is caught by Kelsey! Touchdown! Kansas City! And the Chiefs have won!
Mitch Oltis here. There's nothing like a game at Arrowhead. For over 50 years, we've shared incredible moments and created unforgettable memories there. Now we've got to keep it going. On April 2nd, vote yes on question 1 to keep the Chiefs here in Jackson County, with real benefits for every community. New renovations at Arrowhead, and you don't pay any additional taxes. Chiefs Kingdom, this is a golden era of sports, and together we have built a major league city. There's no place like Arrowhead. Let's keep it going.
Intercepted! It's intercepted! Kansas City, you've got a champion!
On April 2nd, vote yes on question 1 so we can keep the Chiefs in Jackson County.
Paid for by the committee to keep the Chiefs and Royals in Jackson County. Whitney Beaver, Treasurer.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
If you're a pro and flooring is your game, we'll help you win it.
Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. You want decor?
Right.
You want plumbing?
You're out.
LL Flooring has been helping pros knock it out of the park for over 30 years. Visit one of our 400 nationwide warehouses for one-on-one service, extensive inventory, and exclusive pro pricing. Get the pro treatment you deserve. Enroll today, online or in-store. LL Flooring, every step covered.
This March, Wendy's has some amazing deals on their
30 seconds.
made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it. Get it for $1. Dave single, order in the app. Dave single, get it for $1. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's official hamburger March Madness.
Limited time offer. Participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details and redeem at Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available.
15.
U.S. and Alaska.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Subscribe to the Character Concerns podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Mike's on.
11 o'clock hour, Cody and Gold live outside Kauffman Stadium. Specifically, come by and say hello outside Gate D. We'll be hanging out here till 2 o'clock, and Vern will be on from 2 to 2:30 with his On Deck show. He'll also be on with us at 12:30. We've got the general manager of the Kansas City Royals, J.J. Piccolo, joining us at around 11:45 or so. We'll get his perspective on this 2024 roster that he put together. We'll also have Ryan Lefevre, the voice of the Royals, in the 1 o'clock hour. And you never know who's going to stop by. We got Dusty Likens now, who decided to brave the win for a few minutes and join us for a little bit here. This segment on the show, of course, host of After Hours, and now just whenever, just hop on whenever.
Yeah, it's
you're a free man.
We've in so many ways, Cody. You have no idea. We're getting ready to start the spring and summer season 2, and being a free man is really nice. But yeah, we're kind of playing it up. This is the last full week, so this is season 2 of After Hours coming to a complete on Friday night.
And then it's summer vacation. You're like a kid for school.
And then I'm just the guy that shows up randomly like, oh, it's Wednesday night and the Royals had a random day game, and it goes from like Mr. Professional and Vern to After Hours.
So Gold decided to sit down due to the fact that over on Twitch and Twitter and YouTube, they were saying, welcome back to Alex Gold Penis Cam.
It was just
the camera was right on my crotch.
Just direct. Could not have been more direct.
Hog and tap here at Kauffman Stadium. Way to keep it professional, boys. I come here for 5 seconds and we've already turned it into After Hours. I guess I'm just toxic. I just have to admit that.
We only have 2 cameras, so we don't have a third camera on.
Settle down.
In the show.
Good.
All right, coming up next is Josh Verger, your Royals insider for the On Deck show.
Man. We had one listener. We had one listener drop off some corks. And
they're not even open.
And they're not opened. And Cody must have during the break taken a couple shots.
Or those were Cincy waxes that you got.
One of our listeners brought over some corks and some candles. But I'll be honest, the way they're packaged on one side, it looks like these would be gigantic edibles. I mean, these would be what, like 100 milligrams a piece?
You would make first pick.
Instead of 10 milligrams, it'd be like 100 a piece. It'd be pretty wild stuff. No, we'll get to some of our favorite season-long Royals bets. I want to go through that. I think we all kind of have some bets we placed, not just for today, but how we're viewing the season and everything. Before we get there, as we are sitting at the Truman Sports Complex and what could be a different look here in about 4 or 5 years, to say the least. Yeah, no doubt. Yesterday, the lease agreements were sent out, and much like with every other agreement that the teams have sent out, very quickly after, Frank White, the Jackson County executive, says, well, these aren't real agreements, these aren't binding and all that, and I'm not even telling you what's true or what's not. Now it's gotten to the point where it's gotten real into the semantics of, like, technically this is actually how it goes, but this side can skew the one word and it means it's not. So I'm not even going to get into the details on what's binding and what's not. I think what has been interesting for me in the last 24 hours, Cody, has been still the whole Oak Street thing, right, where we know now they're going to have Oak Street opened. Yeah. And that was something that a lot of people were concerned about, and the Royals said, all right, we agree to keep Oak Street open, and people are upset about that change happening now because it's happening inside of a week of the election.
Which I thought that they wanted change.
I thought people wanted to listen to feedback and have the teams, in this case the Royals, make changes based off of that. But I guess that doesn't always fit the the narratives for some folks involved in the entire process. What he did say, John Sherman, yesterday, I thought was kind of interesting about the ballpark district. He said it's not going to have as much entertainment as the initial plan, because you guys remember this ballpark district, yes, it's going to have the hotels, the bars, and things like that, but there was going to be maybe some entertainment options around there. And because of the location and now maybe the Oak Street being open, is the footprint going to be a little smaller, a little tighter, I guess, to where they're still contributing, this $1 billion ballpark district, 1.3 potentially, district, but it's going to be a little different than maybe initial plan, which is what I thought the challenge of switching to the Crossroads site compared to the East Village site was always going to be. Anyway.
But again, as we all know, I mean, it was more the city pushing them to the site they're in now than their dislike for East Village. Now, we can talk about why and how it came to that, and we have on this show. But look, a little less entertainment's okay just based on that location. I'm just hoping it expands. I'm hoping it is the connecting piece between the parts of the Crossroads we like, not the part now. We don't like the part now. There's like 10 businesses maybe worth going to, and the rest is just like an empty U-Haul and a couple of other
crossroads. I was going to say the Crossroads. I mean, I love the Crossroads as well.
The part they're in. The part that they're taking over, that's not the best part of the Crossroads.
Agreed.
You got to go a little further.
I agree with that.
To get to the good part of the Crossroads. I'm hoping it's a bridge between those two. It connects both Power and Light and the Crossroads part that is busy, and you marry those two together. That's why it needs less entertainment, I guess, in my mind. Not none, just less.
Yeah, I think when I was at the Monarch, I think is a place I'm way out of my pay rate, but it was a guy's birthday. Had a reservation, went, kind of saw the area from that spot of like what they were kind of envisioning, and like Cody said, it is kind of like the outstretched part of the Crossroads.
Yeah,
like,
it's the edge.
That's not normally where people are always gonna, that's not the prime real estate of the Crossroads. But man, I'll be honest with you guys, like I can't keep up with it. Like every single and you guys get the same email that I'm getting, and I'm sure people can find those releases anywhere they want, but it just seems like every day as we get closer, there's all these little like nooks and crooks that change or are being added or somebody's speaking.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think we could all like honestly say that we didn't think it would be this much of a mess. Like I thought it was going to, and again, I welcome to my new world of politics and sports in a city that you work in, but like, I thought it was maybe a little bit going to be easier than it has been, or the process wasn't going to be as confusing, and there's so many different parts of it, and there's people that I know that are voting no, there's people that I know that are voting yes, and there's people that have perfect opinions for both. I personally will tell you I'm voting yes. I want a downtown stadium. I want to see this city continue to grow, and I understand that there's people that have nostalgia, and there's people that don't want to, extended tax, but look, man, like just come up with the plan that you're going to sell and keep, and then we'll get to the whole, because like this is we're April 2nd's the day.
Yeah, Tuesday. Tuesday is election day. And I think we've all acknowledged on whether it's the Royals, the Chiefs, Jackson County, clearly, I mean, it goes without saying, the rollout all the way around has been a mess. I mean, it's been messy. The order of events and when this election is happening and when they originally want everything to happen, it has not all gone to plan. I don't think anybody will argue with that. The one thing I will say about, like, hey, things changing, and like the financial aspects have to be set in stone before Election Day, and they are set in stone before Election Day from what they're asking for the county. The actual design of the stadium and what might shift, spoiler, that is going to continue to change. Like that, I mean, I'm obviously going way further than reality here, but like I'm convinced at this point if they said in a rendering that there's going to be a hot dog stand in right field but they moved it 5 inches, people are going to bitch. Like that's kind of where I feel like we're at with this too.
Right. Is there a Quick Trip in here, by the way?
Well, there's the Quick Trip party porch,
but I don't know.
Because I'm here. I know I'm getting off subject. That's why I'm here early. Because I mean, I'm here early because I'm trying to soak it in. This is only going to be here for another couple years, right?
This might be one of 4 remaining.
Yeah, and I'm dead serious. I'm like dead ass serious. Like I mean, this is a place I grew up coming to.
Oh,
you guys as well. You've been here since
I love
you were
Kauffman.
Yay high. But I am interested. I want to do I want to see what's new out here this year.
Yeah, it is as Cody said, the QT fountain deck.
We're calling it the Coke Party Porch on this show, but that's fine.
I don't know if you want to go with that. Like,
you don't think we should stick with that?
This isn't the 80s.
It was the Pepsi Party Porch, but obviously now there's Coke
Party Porch.
It's Coca-Cola's in the stadium
now. Into Charlie Sheen up there.
Yeah. He's been to the stadium before. All-Star game, 2013. Charlie Sheen.
He was here for that?
I believe he was, if I remember right.
Is he still gone?
They're doing. He's the guy that created 2.5 Men, or director.
Chuck Lorre?
That I believe that he got in. Remember, they had a huge fight and trash.
Yeah.
They've made up, I guess, and there's some new show they're working on together.
Wow.
I don't know the name.
He's
of
back,
it.
man.
Okay. And John Shire's like completely bald.
Is he?
Yeah, he has like his own sitcom now. Doesn't even look like the same guy.
I haven't. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he pulled the Vern.
He went Vern?
He went
cue
Vern.
ball?
He went
just all in.
Yeah, he's all in.
Okay.
But I do want to bring this up because you were talking about it earlier. You get back on the topic of the stadium. When you say lowering the entertainment or like,
I think
it's
he
very
said
vague. Like, what is the no Top Golf area, or is it no like?
No, I think what he said in the full press conference setting yesterday was he thinks some of the the entertainment will develop organically, like other like to Cody's point, other aspects of the Crossroads,
right?
In local businesses, maybe they're going to
flow.
That'll bring itself almost to the area. Now the price tag, I will push back. Someone on the text line said, he's changing the entertainment district. He's putting in less money. That's just inaccurate. They are putting in $1 billion. In fact, it went to $1.3 billion at a town hall they had a week or so ago, plus the cost overrun. So no, they're not now saying, we're going to put in less for the entertainment district. That's inaccurate. That is the financial commitment they have been, steadfast on.
It might just be more housing. It might be a various amount of different things.
Seems like there's also a lot of entertainment down there already.
I saw too that
we love a lot of this.
The mayor had mentioned because there was some concern with Oak Street now being open, and John Sherman said, after the election there will be more discussions about what some of the businesses on Oak Street, what happens to some of those businesses, or I should say east of Oak Street.
Sure.
And the mayor had said yesterday on his social media accounts that the city will not allow. Basically, hey, you're not going to be able to just displace the local business for another local business directly. Does that make sense?
I can't just kick them out because it's not part of my plan to be like, I want this now too, and putting my own business.
And some people, was there anything legally binding? The mayor in his tweet said that that's something that basically the city, the mayor, and then city council can actually control. That's not something that actually has to.
Yeah, that's a completely different thing, and I don't think that they were ever doing that. Sometimes it's a bit of fear mongering on the idea of like they're gonna take away everything, and you're like, that's not true. We all love the Crossroads. I like being out there too, Dustin. We've talked a lot about that. I worked out there for a really long time, but still,
Temptations.
Crossroads got a lot. Like, am I the only person who thinks that Crossroads got a lot better after Power and Light?
Yes. So,
I mean, am I the?
I think the
it started to grow a lot.
I think the Crossroads kind of like with our demographic kind of became because
I did
like
because Power and Light was too young for us,
like
so
our
we
parents
took
went
next
to
it.
Our parents went to Westport. Even though some will say they didn't, they went to Westport. There's an old country bar there called Guitars and Cadillacs. That's where my parents met.
They've reopened.
And they've
out at Oakland Park.
A lot of people went down there and went to Westport. Then Westport kind of got a little bit of a bad rap in the 90s. All of a sudden, where do you go? Plaza, and then Power and Light gets built right when I turned 21, so we were there. It was cool. Then I got outdated from Power and Light real fast. And then Grinders, that sort of area became like the new spot. And that's where concerts went that weren't over-the-top big concerts. And, that area is – I'm actually going to that area to see a band here in May, I believe. So, I mean, it'll be it's a good area. I love that place.
We got Dusty Likens hanging out with us. Again, later on this hour, in about 30 minutes, we're supposed to have the general manager of the Royals, J.J. Piccolo, join us as we're broadcasting outside of Gate D. I did want to talk about some season-long views on this team and some bets maybe that you guys made as well.
Your credential picture is hilarious, by the way.
That's an old photo.
Is
Mine's old. Dude, this photo, so not to go too –
Did they stretch your face?
Well, that's what it is. It's stretched. That's the biggest thing.
That's Botox out. Botox out.
Yeah. So it's the photo has been stretched. I think Spec submitted these like 4 years ago, and they've not changed it. And then it's definitely.
I'm gonna
stretched.
suit it.
You're much more handsome now.
So thank you, Dusty.
Yeah, that was like back in your like just out of Lawrence phase.
This photo is probably from 2019 or 2018.
That's pre-COVID out.
So that's pre-COVID. That's pre-COVID.
That's why he was smiling.
The mask.
That's what it is. No, I was saying someone texted in that they're in Kansas. They're making some bets. Then they're coming out to Kauffman Stadium. What season-long view do you have bet-wise for the Chiefs? Because I can run through
Royals?
For the Royals.
Super Bowl.
For the Chiefs, just another.
I've already locked it in.
Lewis, Reese, Zamet actually.
Over 1,000 yards. Do you want to know this bottle of Louis? Or?
Now you're buying a $4,000 bottle. Absolutely not. Not with my pay grade. No way.
A couple of season-long bets for the Royals. AL Central, we've talked about this one before. I do have a 30-1 bet on the Royals to win the Central. They're down to like 10-1, I think, in some books.
They were, plus 850?
I got them at 30-1. 30-1.
I didn't get him at a good enough number to bet it.
Yeah.
I'd like it at your number.
Yeah, 30-1. I got that back in January. Also, the most recent one I bet actually was Pasquantino Comeback Player of the Year in the American League. 9-1 right now on FanDuel.
Okay.
And then 2 other ones we've discussed a ton. Reagan's strikeout leader, 80-1. He's down to 20 or 24-1 for that. Cy Young, 14-1. And then Bobby Wood Jr., stolen base leader at 12-1. So those are my season-long Royals bets that I played.
Funny enough, I like him better, Cole Reagan's. So I've got to bet on him to win the Cy Young because I like it better than the strikeouts. Because Strider's a monster.
Yes.
He's a monster. He won that by 50 or 60 strikeouts last year.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about that number, it was hard. That's why it's a long shot, and you got it at an even better number. So I don't blame you for betting it at the number you have. But like the number it is currently, no. I bet him to win Cy Young earlier than the 8 or 9-1 he is now. I think I got him at 22-1 or whatever it was at the number, and I like that. I bet the Vinny Pasquantino over home runs earlier in the year as well because I still think he's got more juice. At the time, it was 17.5, I think, or 16.5.
He could hit 3 today with this win.
Seems low.
It does, but it was a low number at the time, and I don't think he'd fully come back from the injury yet. That was the case. But I also have one on with you, Bobby Wood Jr. strikeouts as well. So,
Bobby Wood Jr.
Stolen bases.
Stolen base. Okay.
Yeah. And then I have Vinny to hit a home run today, plus 650.
My thought on Bobby Wood Jr. stolen base leader. So Acuna's the problem there, right? Just because.
Yeah, of course.
But Bobby got caught stealing 15 times last year. So let's say in terms of opportunity,
let's say regression to the norm takes him to 7 times caught.
Yeah, I mean all of a sudden you're potentially in business now. Maybe it takes Acuna missing some games. I don't know, but yeah, 12-1. I don't hate it. What about you, Dusty? What are you looking at season long?
I mean, the one that's really hilarious is for the Royals to win it all is 13 plus 13,000, which that's not.
So they're 130-1 to win it all right now.
Yeah, I got all the numbers here, and then I thought
it's funny if you bet him to win the division. You know what? Win it all.
Well, if they get to the postseason, you just got to hedge.
Yeah, you just get out of there. I love the 74.5 at minus 115. I think they can. I think they're a 77. I mean, I saw the board the other day at work.
So we're on the show. So Cody's 76.
Yeah.
Drew's 77. I'm 78. So we're all.
Yeah, I'm right. And I think that's a good number.
That's a range.
Anywhere. I mean, and that's a mass improvement from what you had last year, and I think that keeps them entertaining into August. I believe that to be true. Minnesota, who you play today, is going to be a problem. Detroit's going to be an issue. Cleveland, is going to be an issue. Another one that I like is 83 or more wins is plus 285. So if you want to take a little juice and squeeze a little harder, you can get that one for 83 is plus 285.
Man, at that point, if they're getting like 80, all of a sudden to me at that point, I'm thinking about just betting on the division. Which, I mean, I have a division.
Yeah, and the division's plus 850. And then the other one I like is that you can find on DraftKings, I saw this last night, like a grouping. So if you can pick a number, so you say it's like 77, 76, you can get somewhere on there that's like 70 to 75 wins.
So you can do like band betting.
Yeah,
okay.
So band betting is what it's called, and there's one that's 65 to 70. So if you're like, I think they'll be good, but I don't want to like oversell it, anywhere between 65 and 70 is plus 450, and I love that bet. So if you think they
65 and 70?
Well, versus 65 and 70.
65 and 70
Not
wins.
75 and 80.
No, but between 65 and 70 is plus 485, which I don't understand. Because
they think they're going to be better than that. That's why the win total's at 73 and a half.
Yeah, so like if you get there, 74 and a half is is minus 115. Which I mean, if you want to have a fun season-long bet, I think that's the one. And then obviously Bobby Wood Jr. I think was plus 2,000 to win MVP.
Okay.
I wish you could bet like finish in the top 3.
Yeah,
That'd be too easy, obviously, but I do think that. And then my bet today, I've got Royals plus 1.5. It's parlayed with Bobby Witt Jr. stolen base 1 of any time. It's 1 or more. And then Reagan's 6+ strikeouts. It's plus 475.
I made a lot of money on Reagan strikeouts props last year.
Lyle's
for a while, they had not caught up to his number on that for a long time, I felt like.
I mean,
that was a good win there for a while for me.
Today, I believe it's at 6.5.
Yeah, let's get off to a good start. We all, it sounds like, kind of in on the Reagan strikeout leader bet that's out there for the season.
Once Cole went down, you got to love your odds there.
I'm
sure it changed immediately once Cole was out.
Yeah, we'll give out, I guess, today. I mentioned for today, I like Melendez 2+ hits. It's like plus 450 and over 3.5 runs scored for the Royals today. Those are a couple bets that we're all keeping an eye on for the season and for today as the Royals take on Pablo Lopez and the Minnesota Twins. But let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
All right, we didn't get to this yesterday, and then we'll get right back into some Royals baseball and the Chiefs. But this has to do with Mike Tyson, who we all know he's fighting one of the Pauls. I don't know which one. I can't remember. One of the Pauls.
Jake?
Yeah,
Jake.
that one. That
I had to learn.
The
last time I said
the one with the lisp.
Oh, really?
That's how I tell them apart.
Okay. Okay.
What?
Okay. Whatever. Hey, I can't identify.
Sure. Or Logan's the WWE star.
Okay.
Jake's the boxer.
So they're fighting in Dallas this summer on Netflix, and yes, I am going to watch. But Mike Tyson is now selling edibles shaped like a chewed ear.
Oh.
You can get them in New York only currently. And I just want is Evander Holyfield getting
Why is this trash of the day?
cut?
Like a residual?
These are always what we do. These are the trash of the day type of stories.
You think he wants a cut?
I think you should get a bite
because it's his ear,
Yeah.
technically, I guess, on the gummy.
Yeah, it looks like the twins are here. I don't know, man. I just I don't think this is trash. I think this is a great idea. I think this is. I mean, obviously Tyson.
Oh,
has
get
been
your
like,
money, but I think
yeah.
Evander Holyfield should be okay. Come on, man. Can I not be part of this? I should have.
It
Holyfield should have done this.
It's definitely not Tyson that came up with this. He's got a great marketing team because this is very like perfect niche for Mike Tyson. Obviously, if you followed him after his boxing career, he's gotten very much involved in the marijuana aspect of life. But and good for him. He took a lot of shots to the head, and it probably helps him out a little bit better throughout his life. But the ear gummy, fantastic.
Oh, it's a great idea.
But yeah, Vander Holyfield maybe needs to get in on this, or maybe kind of throw it. It all depends. Is it his ear?
Is it just an ear, or is it shaped like Evander Holyfield's ear? Because that's a different circumstance. Did you see that MMA guy who got a tattoo after that guy bit him in the middle of the fight the other day?
No.
So he had a massive bite mark on his bicep. Fight got called because they saw him bite the guy really hard. And he got a tattoo around it, being like, "I'm a badass," essentially.
Why are people
right around?
So he got a tattoo of
and then he had the bite
wound.
marks tattooed in.
Why are people biters?
I don't know, man. I think when you're desperate, I think that's what it is.
So
in a moment of desperation, you're like, "Oh God, I got to do anything to win this. I am screwed."
Were you? And maybe you don't need to say it on the air with the wife listening. Were you a big hickey guy?
No. Not my thing.
Gold, you got a long neck, man. Were you?
No.
Not my thing.
Not a thing. Anytime you saw somebody
we don't kink shame on the show.
in school,
Who likes that?
Some people are into it.
Some people like it.
You know how athletes have those suction marks on their shoulders
Yeah,
and
that's
back?
for cupping.
Some
It's blood
kid-
flow.
Some kid named Ronnie always came into your high school or middle school just sucked out on the neck. I'm just not into biters.
I love it. You just compared the hickey to the athletes that get cupping for blood circulation.
Because that's what it looks like.
Oh, I mean,
It looks like you got cupped on the neck.
I mean, that would be a huge hickey. The cups are. I mean, that's much bigger.
You never had kids come to your school and
yeah,
wherever, and then you'd be like, "Oh,
I
Daryl
think
got
those
it
are
last night."
I got to be honest. I think those are the kids who just want to do the more fun stuff. They're like, I want to do something, but I'm
So they
afraid to
just-
do
they
the more
just
fun
decided
stuff.
to bite and
They got to
suck
do
skin?
something instead.
I don't know about all
Text line
that.
says
a
Dusty
backup
seems
plan.
like a biter.
No,
Is that true?
Biter.
Maybe an ass cheek.
Okay.
I'm not a vampire. I'm a werewolf. I don't bite necks. Come on now.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
I'm just asking if you guys had seen the MMA fighter since you're talking about Mike
I just
Tyson.
don't. Why would you bite somebody mid-fight? Now maybe if I'm getting
Again,
my-
desperation.
True.
If I was getting my ass kicked and
I'm
it was like,
kicking
I'll do whatever I got to do.
Not in
man.
a sanctioned fight though, but
Yeah.
like if you're fighting for your life theoretically, that you do whatever the hell you got to
Yeah.
do. But if it's happening in a sanctioned fight, what are you biting?
Yeah, if
for?
I'm fighting for my life, I'm pulling hair. I'm gouging eyes.
Yeah.
I'm kicking
I'm
you.
fish
in the
hooking your
nut.
nose. Whatever, dude.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I'm Janikowskiing you right into the growing, man, just to get out of there alive.
All right, Dusty, thanks for stopping
dude,
by,
absolutely.
man. All right, guys, coming up next, we'll talk a little Chiefs football and looking at the priorities for the upcoming draft. And we're expected to have the Royals general manager and executive vice president of baseball ops, J.J. Piccolo, join us here as we're live outside Kauffman Stadium on 610 Sports Radio.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
On your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
If you're a pro and flooring is your game, we'll help you win it. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. You want decor?
Strike.
You want plumbing?
You're out.
LL Flooring has been helping pros knock it out of the park for over 30 years. Visit one of our 400 nationwide warehouses for one-on-one service, extensive inventory, and exclusive pro pricing. Get the pro treatment you deserve. Enroll today, online or in-store. LL Flooring, every step covered.
This March, Wendy's has some amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it. Choose wisely. only choose Wendy's official hamburger March Madness.
Limited time offer. Participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details and redeem at Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available only. Contiguous U.S. and Alaska.
It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown, Kansas City, and the Chiefs have won.
Mitch Oltis here. There's nothing like a game at Arrowhead. For over 50 years, we've shared incredible moments and created unforgettable memories there. Now we've got to keep it going. On April 2nd, vote yes on question 1 to keep the Chiefs here in Jackson County, with real benefits for every community. New renovations at Arrowhead, and you don't pay any additional taxes. Chiefs Kingdom, this is a golden era of sports, and together we have built a major league city. There's no place like Arrowhead. Let's keep it going.
Intercepted! It's intercepted! Kansas City, you've got a champion!
On April 2nd, vote yes on question 1 so we can keep the Chiefs in Jackson County.
Paid for by the committee to keep the Chiefs and Royals in Jackson County. Whitney Beaver, Treasurer.
You've heard him on national radio. You've seen him on every major network on television. He's Kevin Todd from thesportsbrokers.com. Today, Kevin is releasing his college basketball tournament game of the year. Free on a recorded message. Kevin absolutely loves this matchup. To get this winner, call 888-320-7517. It's absolutely free on a recorded message. If you're looking for dogs that win outright and favorites that cruise to victory, Kevin Todd is your guy. The industry standard is set by Kevin Todd. Get today's winner absolutely free. That's right, absolutely free on a recorded message. Call 888-320-7517. Kevin Todd and the Sports Brokers love this game. Get his college basketball tournament game of the year absolutely free right now. Call 888-320-7517. That's 888-320-7517. Kevin Todd turns outcomes into incomes. Get this winner absolutely free. 888-320-7517. Kevin loves this game. Call now 888-320-7517. Absolutely free on a recorded message.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles. Highly logical. Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills, too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online.
Yeah!
Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Outdoor America with Tommy Bench, Saturday mornings on 610 Sports Radio at 5 a.m. and the Odyssey app. This week, Tommy answers your questions. Outdoor America, presented by Wholesale Batteries. The right battery the first time.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-973-7809 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-973-7809. That's 800-973-7809. What do you have to lose? Call 800-973-7809. Again, 800-973-7809.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing
30 seconds.
like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Mike's John.
610 Sports Radio.
We're back outside Kauffman Stadium, right outside Gate D to be exact, till 2 o'clock. Then Vern's On Deck show takes over, leading you up to first pitch today, 3:10 right here on 610 Sports Radio. Here in about 10 to 15 minutes, we're expected to be joined by the General Manager and Executive Vice President of the Kansas City Royals, J.J. Piccolo, to get his thoughts on the start of this 2024 season. A very busy offseason that they had, as we mentioned. So many new faces on the opening day roster compared to a year ago. Just 7 players from last year's opening day roster on this year's opening day roster, which, yeah, is pretty wild to think about. So we'll get to that in just a little bit, and be sure to stop by, say hello. Some of you have already done that. Picked up, we had a very small supply. I think we have a few left of the Cody and Gold.
Again, I hope you're smaller, but they're in there.
Cody and Gold T-shirts as well. Before we talk to JJ, it is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. We're gonna cheat a little bit and probably do it for about 10 or 15 minutes. But looking at the first round options, yesterday we discussed. All right, you trade up. Is he going to be aggressive, Brett Veach? And when he finds somebody that they think is almost can't miss, like Trent McDuffie, that's the one time they've really traded up in the first round. But positionally, is there much debate anymore of the 3 positions we think they're going to go after in the first round? I mean, at this point, clearly offensive tackle, I think, is in play, based off of, as of right now, Wanye Morris would be the starting left tackle, and that's it. Wide receiver, absolutely still in play because Hollywood Brown's on a 1-year deal. And so even if he has a great year, there's not a guarantee he's back. So you still need another complementary long-term option. So I think offensive tackle and wide receiver, the 2 absolutely are in play. And I would still argue maybe are the 2 favorite positions if we were to put odds. There will be very soon, by the way, odds
there will be.
on what position they'll draft.
No, I was just trying to think about, are we really down to those 3? Because I know that
and the third being what?
Yeah, well, being defensive line. Okay. Offensive tackle, wide receiver, and defensive line for me. I know sometimes the non-sexy positions like linebacker and safety, people do take those in the first round, okay? They do take corner, they do take safety, they do take linebacker in the first every year, all the time. Even linebackers who aren't sack guys get taken all the time. But I really think it's just down to those 3 once again. I think that the way that they've constructed their roster has put them in a position, Gold, where those are their only 3 real positions of need. Again, offensive tackle. Look, I don't think they're taking a running back. That's got a 0% chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can cross off running back, kicker, punter, and quarterback.
Yeah. Look, kicker and punter every year. Quarterback every year until Patrick Mahomes retires.
And
for God's sakes, running backs after what happened with Clyde, I don't think that one needs to get mentioned in the mix there for a while either. And so... But I do think it's down to those 3. I don't think you want to eliminate defensive line. I know it's easy to look at the roster, and you're not wrong. The roster is weakest at wide receiver and weakest at tackle. But defensive line is one of those positions where it might tell us a little bit about FAU if they take a first-round defensive line, but a lot more on the fact that we need to consider the one part of the Chris Jones thing on this that we haven't for the drafting perspective. Some of the other guys in the defensive line have got to be cheap. If you want any hope of extending George Karlaftis in a couple of years too, somebody on the defensive line has to be cheap. Cheap is in the draft, even in the first round of the draft, and 5 years of control, hypothetically, if you spend a first-round pick on it. You don't have any resources tied up in wide receiver. You're paying no one. Hollywood Brown's barely getting any money. You don't have any resources tied up. Like, you have some tied up in the offensive line. That's a whole nother part, right? You got to be cheap there, too, because maybe you want to pay Creed. Maybe you want to pay Trey. You are paying Tooney. You are paying Taylor. So then, okay, again, someone on the offensive line's got to be cheap. But right now, they already have a couple of cheap guys. On the defensive line, the only cheap possible starter is FAU. So their belief in him is what makes that door open on the first round, one of those don't rule it out scenarios for me.
And I think it also probably matters how they feel the injury recovery is going to be for Charles Omenihu. This will be the final year under contract for Omenihu, but are they believers that he comes back and contributes this season? Is it October? Is it November? And so Chris Jones, Felix, Karlaftis, Omenihu come November. They brought back Derek Nottie. They brought back Turk Warden. Do they consider bringing back Mike Dana, who is still out there? I mean, I think that could swing how they approach. You know where I'm at just on the offensive tackle position in general, and you're right. I think you said it yesterday. The last 2 years, I've wanted them to spend their first-round pick on an offensive tackle. I just think they really we can mention they have cheaper pieces on the O-line, sure, but Creed Humphrey's not going to be cheap here very soon if they give him an extension. If Trey Smith is on this team long-term, his extension for a guard won't be cheap. I don't think he's going to get the extension, but all of a sudden you'd have your right tackle making pretty good money, your right guard in that hypothetical would, your center would, your left guard's deal isn't bad for the play you're getting, but still it's not cheap. So I do think they could use a longer-term option at left tackle that's on a rookie deal if they think there's that guy at 32, or as we discussed yesterday, if you're going to trade up, I think the only position they're trading up for from 32 is not wide receiver. I think it's tackle. I don't think they need to trade up from 32 to go get a wide receiver. That, to me, would be probably more pressing if Hollywood Brown wasn't already in a Chiefs uniform, even if it's for 1 year. Because you would say, hey, we got to make sure we get someone that can help us right now. And you and I have gone back and forth on Felix, and I agree with you on this. I don't think 2 years in a row your first-round pick can be someone that you wait a year to see if he contributes.
Like if they're taking a defensive lineman, you're saying it's more like Karlaftis. Hey, let's get this guy involved
Which is why
there's more space to be involved immediately because Omenihu's hurt again, and they don't have Dan and some of these other guys. There's less competition there.
Yeah, and I think they can take a wide receiver just at 32, and that guy can contribute as your number 3, number 4 wide receiver.
Agreed.
I think they're clear if they take a tackle at 32 or they trade up, that guy's starting if they're taking a tackle, offensive tackle, in the first round. I don't believe you're going to spend that kind of priority of a pick. You know, the difference last year with Felix at 32 was at that point you had Chris Jones and you had Karlaftis and you had Omenihu, and so maybe you felt like, and you had Mike Dana, so you didn't maybe need the immediate impact. This year, there's some the two areas I would say they could use the immediate impact if we're prioritizing. You always want someone to help you right away, but if truly like, hey, you kind of need it, as of right this second, offensive tackle and wide receiver is probably the order I would go of, like, hey, you need someone that can come in on kind of day one. Then that'd be a star day one, but come in and give you some significant snaps.
That's the thing about wide receivers, that the third or fourth wide receiver, if you take it in the first, does contribute. It's just not – like FAU didn't contribute. Like, if he were a rotational defensive lineman, like if he played the amount Turk Wharton did – he didn't even do that. He was a non-contributing member of the team.
Multiple pieces ahead of him.
After
about
week, 2 or 3?
Yeah, multiple pieces. I mean, it was on a championship team.
Yeah,
and
it was deep at that position.
They wanted – they had players that could help them win now, and he was further along, and he's a developmental project.
Can't say they regret it, seeing how they went on and won the Super Bowl and had the best defense in the NFL.
And this year's so important for Felix. Training camp's he's gonna be one of the biggest storylines at camp, and does a year of development equate to a much better sophomore season where he contributes? And that'll be a fair discussion to be had. I just think it's not as simple as, hey, they drafted a guy at 32, he didn't contribute, so he must stink. And I know you're not saying that, but
no,
it's not as simple as that.
But I'm worried he might stink. Does that make
and
sense?
I'm not telling you he's going to be
for sure.
And I'm not telling you he's going to be a star, but when we go through all the names that on a championship team that were ahead of him, Karlaftis and Jones and Dana and Warden and Omenihu, it makes more sense why a guy that they acknowledged was kind of a developmental pick didn't play as much as everybody would have liked to see. So now let's see. Let's find out how good the development is, and let's see if he's also a year in an NFL. Not that college don't have great weightlifting programs, but in an NFL program for a year. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know if a guy we find out he gained 10 pounds in the offseason. I have no idea, but let's see a year in the Chiefs program what that does for him.
I will say he had a lot of competition. So I will use that as an evidence to be like, okay, I'm not going to write the guy's entire story yet. There's no reason to do that. But especially just considering his age. God, man, this is another one of those, like, last year I felt this way because they were the defending Super Bowl champ. You know I feel even stronger on this. I don't want a first-round pick that's not
I'm with you where I don't think 2 years in a row.
Contributor.
I don't think 2 years in a row your first-round pick can be someone that just doesn't really play.
And you can flex it. You can make it work. Every year doesn't have to be the instant. You're looking for the ceiling guy. You chose the ceiling guy. You couldn't trade down to the area you wanted to be in. Okay, cool, we get it. And because they got, and honestly, it's way more forgivable if he just becomes, let's say he becomes a 4.5 sack guy this year. He's a contributor.
Oh,
right?
I'd sign up for that right now.
Yeah, I would
think
too.
I don't know who wouldn't.
I'd still think it'd be kind of like, I don't know if you're off to a great start for a first-round pick, but that's fine. I'd sign up for that. So 4.5 sacks, all right, great. We feel okay about it. The reason why it's an easier pill to swallow is depending on what you do with the other draft. You had a first and a second-round pick. If you had flipped the picks, think about how different you'd feel. If Rashee Rice was the guy taken 31 overall, and instead FAU was taken with Rashee Rice's pick, we'd borderline be feeling gangbusters. You'd be like, all right, well, the second-round pick was a project, like Tano Passanio, and we're going to hope that eventually he develops into something that matters. But the first-round pick, damn, he was the leading wide receiver for this team last year and has a chance to be even better. But they weren't in that order, and it makes you like I can reevaluate now. In the first 2-round picks, they got a first-round talent with one, and they got a developmental guy with the second. I'm good. We're good. But I need to start seeing some stuff out of FAU this year, which is why I still wouldn't rule out defensive line. Because I'm viewing them almost in reverse now, right? It's not like that a first-round defensive lineman. They took a project in the second round. If you took a project in the second round, all right, well, then you can take one at 32.
We don't know the name if that player exists, but if there's someone that they, like the Trent McDuffie example, that they just fall in love with and they think is going to be a future star, even if they drafted that position last year in the first round, it doesn't mean they're not going to do it. If they actually have that player that they think is kind of can't miss, that falls to them or is available to in realistic trade terms, not trading up 10 spots, but trading up 3 spots, let's say. I also think for just going back to the tackle, I mean, it will say a ton about how they feel about Wanya Morris if they don't draft one in the first round.
Yeah, they love him.
I mean,
we have to just trust him on that.
I know there's still a chance, and I think they will bring in some sort of veteran tackle. Like, you know what I mean? Whether it's before the draft or after, it could be Donovan Smith again. I don't know. I think there's a chance that they'll bring in some veteran presence. But if they spend their first-round pick on a tackle, then that tells us let's be honest, they don't love Wanya as much as they claim to have loved. And he can be a great flex backup Nick Allegretti role kind of guy who's no longer with the team. He's now starting with the Commanders. So that could be the path. Or if they don't draft a tackle until the second or third round, then we're going to have a real competition between Wanya Morris and whoever that guy is.
Whichever rando veteran or whichever third round, or whatever third-round pick they take at tackle.
Someone says on the text line, do you think they'll even use pick 32? That's always in play. Is a trade-down scenario a possibility? I think that is absolutely something that we could see happen. Last year we saw the Chiefs decide to make that pick, and there was a lot of speculation whether or not that was just because at that point the draft happened to be in Kansas City or whatever. But we'll get back to that a little bit later as we're continuing to broadcast outside Kauffman Stadium, right by Gate D, and we've got plenty of fans lined up. Noon, the gates will actually open up. Get that Bobby Wood Jr. bobblehead, and the excitement getting closer and closer to first pitch here in 2024. And we're always excited. Anytime in person, we can have the general manager and the executive vice president of baseball ops for the Royals. Yeah, watch your head there. That would not have been good for any of us there. We got JJ Piccolo joining us here outside Kauffman Stadium. Well, happy opening day. It's good to have you on the show again.
Oh, there we go. Hold on, now we got you.
All right. Well, happy opening day to you as well, and excited for it.
Absolutely.
We want to ask you about bunting this time,
Yeah. I was thinking about that because coming in today, somebody said something on the radio about bunting, and I'm like, I got asked that question last year.
Yeah, that was.
I still stand by that. That's what I think of when I think of opening day. I think of bunting in the pomp and circumstance.
Well, it's on every opening day logo, so why not?
Yeah, exactly.
For you think about this offseason, a busy offseason as always, but we were discussing, I think it's just 7 players were on the opening day roster last year that are here today. And so clearly a turnover on the roster. If I were to ask you just about this team and your number one priority in the offseason to now where we're at, how would you describe the way you attacked it?
Well, I think it started with we recognized that we had some young talent on our club that was going to be here for a long time. Not necessarily talking about Bobby's extension, but we had 5-6 years with some guys. Whether it was Bobby, Michael, talking about Kyle Isbell, Michael Massey, Cole Reagans, Brady Singer, MJ Melendez. I mean, the list goes on and on. And because we felt good about that group and what they could potentially do, what can we do to help them blossom as major league players? So how does that happen? Well, typically it happens because you put protection around them. So and then we had obvious holes. I mean, our rotation wasn't very good last year. Our bullpen wasn't good enough last year. So they were glaring holes to us. The pitching needed to be addressed. And then really the position player part of our roster is more like a puzzle. What do we need? Do we need a middle-of-the-order bat? Do we need right-handed? Do we need left-handed? And I think with the last signing of Adam Frazier, we felt like we have some balance now. We have options for Q, and last year was a tough year. I mean, Q's first year as a manager, and quite honestly, the team just wasn't good enough. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But now we're excited about who we have, and the offseason was dictated because of a number of things that I just mentioned and others. But the way we stand today, we're in a better spot than where we were last year.
Is it hard to be sure that a pitching staff will work together when you have this amount of turnover? Like when you look at what your rotation is and what your bullpen is, you're like, that is dramatically different. Ain't a bunch of guys that didn't all pitch together necessarily. How confident can you be that you're like, well, this is all not from scratch, but a lot of new pieces. Can it all work together?
I think the guys that we acquired, if they're able to perform to their accustomed level, which for Lugo was just consistency and give us about. I think this year we can realistically see a jump in his innings total. Last year, first year being in the starting role, we can see a jump in Brady's innings. Walker, we kind of know. We got about 130 innings or so because that's what his track record says. But if they're able to do what they did in the past, then they're doing exactly what we signed them for. And then the bullpen, it's really just a matter of throwing strikes and having flexibility, versatility for Q to go to matchups. That's really what it is. It's more of a matchup bullpen than a power bullpen. So when we were in 2014 and 15, we had that dominant 7th, 8th inning. I don't think we're that type of bullpen. We're more of a matchup bullpen that will give him options to get to the 9th inning.
When you guys lay out the rotation, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how much do you think about the fact, I know opening day starter, you're sending a message to a guy because you're saying, hey, you're our opening day starter, we believe in you. But when we look at it, we're like, all right, Brady Singer the 3. Does that mean that that's just a good matchup for Brady, or does that mean you guys still view him as a middle rotation guy, or has that potential this year?
Well, we still view him as a middle rotation guy, but we did take into account the Twins lineup versus the Orioles lineup. It's not Baltimore's opening day on Monday, but our first road game, a guy that's been there, done it, that factored in a little bit. It wasn't the only thing we factored in, but it just felt right. We worked through it. Once we decided Cole was definitely our opening day starter, we knew we wanted, it was really kind of coming in. It was probably either Cole or Lugo, one of the two.
Sure.
Once we figured that out, we knew that Lugo was going to fall in the 2-hole. And then after that, it was a bunch of different things to come to that conclusion, 3, 4, 5. But we feel good about it. We feel like it matches up pretty well with our opponents.
We're talking to J.J. Piccolo, Royals General Manager, Executive Vice President of Baseball Ops here on 610 Sports Radio ahead of opening day. The rest of this division, I think we've talked to you about the division before, and I know internally you guys, like every team, has projections on where you think you guys are going to end up and what the data is telling you. We were mentioning, I think there's a chance this might be the most competitive division in baseball this year. How do you view where you guys are at and where this division, if the gap is not that large, it seems?
Yeah, I think you explained it very well. In our projections, it's a tight grouping. There's not one team that's projected to win 95, and there's not a team that's really projected to win 55.
Sure.
So everybody's somewhere between 75 and 85, and that's pretty tight. And really, what swings the needle are things for our club anyway. Guys taking that next step forward, guys being consistent, health factors in. But we do think it's going to be a tight race. We think there's going to be 3-4 teams that are, when we get to August and September, we're going to be fighting it out. The only thing I'll say about our division, at least going into it, it's hard to at least forecast that the wild card's going to come out of our division. That could change. I mean, things change all the time. That could change, but at least as it sets today, we think the division winner is going to be the lone representative from the Central to play in the playoffs. But that's our projections. Other teams may see it differently.
When you guys go through the projections, we talked about last year's projections, and that you guys fell short of even what you thought the internal projections were like on your team due to some areas where you guys came up short in performance. How much better are this year's projections in your mind versus last year's? From just like a pure win total. Give me a range. It doesn't have to be. We see this number of games.
Yeah, but. No, we're our own projections have us winning more games. It's not a 15-game margin. You know, it's
from where you were last year.
Yeah,
okay.
It's 5 or 6 games better with our projections. But again, they're projections. We just actually had this discussion with our players because we're rolling out some new stuff internally, and the last thing we want to do is guys get caught up in projections. That's the beauty of having veteran players. They kind of just poo-pooed it. They're like, I don't care. You know, it doesn't matter. What matters is what I do tonight, and that's the attitude they need to have. So they are what they are. It's a way for us to evaluate going into the season what our expectations should be, with the caveat that there's margin for error there. You know, it could go positively, it could go negatively. You know, so. We're aware of it. We just don't live by it.
Are Bobby's projections 60 home runs, 60 stolen bases, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Is that the 90? Is that the 99th percile version of Bobby?
Yeah. No, I think it'll be interesting with Bobby this year, and maybe not even this year. It's more so in the coming years. You know, I've been asked this question a lot. You know, is Bobby going to steal 75 bases? I think Bobby's capable of stealing 75 bases, but I don't think we need him to steal 75 bases. It's exciting. We need him to be on the field.
Sure.
So what we hope to see out of Bobby this year is an improvement in his success rates because he needs to be able to steal a base when we need him to steal a base, especially 4 or 5 years from now.
Versus what, the 15 he was caught last year?
Yeah, I think, and he's actually talked about it quite a bit. You know, he's pretty open about I want to improve that. So, you know, not to get too long-winded, but you're hoping that, you know, maybe his attempts go down, but his success rate goes up over time. So when it's the 9th inning and he's got to steal a bag, we need you to steal the bag, and he's got to be more adept at doing that. And knowing Bobby and his instinctive learning and the way he goes about, he'll figure that out.
You mentioned Adam Frazier a couple minutes ago. We know he's in the lineup today, and I don't know if it was official, but Michael Massey, were things with him? I know he was dealing with some back problems.
Yeah, Michael's had some back issues throughout his career. They kind of come and go. He's learned how to manage them very well, but unfortunately it flared up on him last week, and the timing was poor. He was going to miss at bats for 7 to 10 days. And then he was going to have to get another 25 at-bats or so, not necessarily over 5-6 games, but we can do it in the minor leagues in the spring because they're still in spring training.
Yeah.
He can get 4 or 5 at-bats a day when he's ready. I think our goal for Michael is for him to be as close to 100% when we roll him out here as opposed to chasing it all year, especially at back. Backs can linger, and we want it to just settle.
There's a lot of big expectations for today's opening day starter, Cole Reagans. I mean, I'm sure you saw, like, John Morosi predicted him to win the American League Cy Young. I know you guys loved the trade at the time. This offseason, getting a full year with Cole, how confident are you that what we saw at the end of last year, which was one of the best pitchers in baseball, is what we're going to see again this season?
Well, if he pitches the way he did last year, he's certainly going to be in the Cy Young Award discussion. But you're talking about you need another 20 starts, or not quite 20. He needs to double the amount of starts that he made last year to really be in that discussion. It's great to think that way. We're optimistic that he's going to be some version of what he was last year. He may get better, and there may be a little bit of regression, but you know he pitched so well that even if there's a little bit of regression, he's still going to be really good. Yeah.
Like I just wonder with a guy like that, it's so hard to be like, Wooly, because I know you think you're making a good trade, but then when he pitches like that, you're like, wait, how good of a trade did we make in this scenario? Do we need to alter our expectations for what we're going to do with Cole?
Well, I think when we made the trade, we knew from a talent standpoint what we expected. But what we found out more about him is the adversities he's gone through. It's really developed him as a baseball player. The way he prepares, the way he goes about his workload in between starts, it really stands out. It's like a guy that's been in the league for 15 years, and he really doesn't have that much time in the major leagues. So he certainly has exceeded and is better than what we thought. But I think a lot of it has to do with the talent plus the preparation he does, and it just comes out.
One other player I wanted to ask you about before we let you go is we're talking to J.J. Piccolo, the Royals general manager. MJ Melendez, thinking of second halves of the season, made the adjustment he mentioned in spring a little bit last year after the All-Star break, and which led to better results, obviously, in the second half. Where are you guys at with him and what you think he can still be for this organization?
MJ's a really talented player. You know, he has shown the ability to walk. and he's got power. I know last year those walk totals and the strikeout numbers flipped, but we have reason to believe, looking at his track record in the minor leagues, that wasn't an aberration.
Sure.
So we believe in the player. I think defensively he can get a lot better, and then really from an offensive standpoint, which he is more of an offensive player, just consistency. Give us good at bats every night. You compete the way we've seen you compete, and who knows? I really believe MJ could be a 30, 35 home run player. We've seen him do it. There's not many guys that come to Kauffman Stadium, left-handed hitters, that can drive the ball out to left center the way he does. And when he's swinging the bat well, that's what he's doing. The best feeling that I get personally is when MJ hits a single over the shortstop's head, especially if it's his first at bat of the night. I'm like, all right, he's locked in. That's perfect. And Vinny's very similar. When Vinny's hitting the ball the other way, he's going to have a good night. So we just need to see that more out of MJ. We believe in him coming into spring training. We were really optimistic that he was going to be our opening day left fielder, and he had a good spring training.
Last thing from just your end, I'm curious, now that you've been in the job a couple of years, how do you evaluate your own expectations for yourself and proving that you're the right guy to keep getting more wins for this team going forward? I know in each individual year you personally have to probably look at your own expectations.
Yeah, I try not to think about my future, because this is more about putting a good team on the field for our fans. That's what it's about. And I've tried to express this really as best I can to our staff. Our job, we were baseball fans as kids, and we had a favorite team, and whether even other sports.
Sure.
And as a fan, that's your expectation, is your favorite team plays well. And I try to look at it through those eyes, and it really kind of provides clarity for you. So when you do go to evaluate, whether it's moves we've made as a front office, whether it's a player on the field, when you think about it in those terms, I think you'll make the better decision more often. So I just, I look at this job as a privilege. If you would have told me this is my 25th year in baseball, that I'd be a general manager, I never thought about that. I just wanted to be a good scout. That's what I was hired to do. I've been fortunate along the way. And really, as far as this year is concerned, there's a calmness that I have. I feel like our off season was productive. We did what we did at dinner. I see it's out of my hands right now. Tomorrow is about the players. It's all about how they approach the game, and pretty much every day is like that. And along the way, we got to make moves. We'll make moves. But it's really keeping our fan base in mind that's most important to me.
Do they still try to pay for dinner?
They do pay for dinner.
Parents can't help it,
They won't let me pay for dinner. It's unbelievable.
You're like, I can do it. It's fine. I got you.
It's unreal. It's unreal. But they will not let me pay for dinner.
Do you have a scouting report on today's opening day first pitch, I should say, from one Andy Reid?
Well, he was in that punt, pass, and kick contest, so he's been on the big stage in moments like that. I think he'll do just fine.
JJ, appreciate the time as always.
Okay, thanks, guys.
That's JJ Picola, Royals General Manager, Executive Vice President. We'll continue broadcasting Outside Gate D next right here on 610 Sports Radio.
Hey, it's Vinny Pasquale. Throughout the year, right here on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
At LL Floyd, we've been a trusted partner to pros for over 30 years. With over 400 nationwide warehouses full of in-stock, job-ready inventory, you'll get what you need. And our exclusive pro pricing means that pros never pay retail. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. So we're going to do it right. Sign up for a free pro account today to start getting pro benefits. LL Flooring, every step covered.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Baseball is back, basketball is heating up, and the NFL Draft is right around the corner. Listen to the latest on the teams you love with the free Odyssey app. The biggest sports radio stations in the country, providing unrivaled local coverage of their teams, all in one place. Exclusive interviews with players, coaches, and team executives, streaming live and always available on demand. Stay in the know with your favorite teams with Odyssey. AUDACY. Download the free Odyssey app today.
Spring is here, and it's time to spring into action to get into shape and feel great. Hey, it's Bob Fesco. I know there are so many options when it comes to home workouts. It can be overwhelming to pick out home fitness equipment, but not anymore. It's time to discover Johnson Fitness and Wellness stores. Their expert staff will help you choose the best home fitness equipment for you, for your unique goals, space, and budget. Johnson Fitness and Wellness has a wide selection of top-rated treadmills, ellipticals, strength equipment, rowers, and exercise bikes. Also, find the latest selection of massage chairs in Kansas City. Right now, get a free kit of massager with purchase of any massage chair or Matrix fitness equipment by mentioning 610 Sports Radio. Soon, you'll be seeing home run fitness results to get in shape and feel great. Johnson Fitness and Wellness is in Overland Park and Lee Summit. Visit johnsonfitness.com. That's johnsonfitness.com. It's Johnson Fitness and Wellness.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the driver who treats the highway like a racetrack and the shoulder like a passing lane. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs, like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
At LL Flooring, we've been a trusted partner to pros for over 30 years. With over 400 nationwide warehouses full of in-stock, job-ready inventory, you'll get what you need. And our exclusive pro pricing means that pros never pay retail. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. So we're going to do it right. Sign up for a free pro account today to start getting pro LL Flooring. Every step.
30 seconds.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at eBay Motors and Supply.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio
10.
from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Kansas City. This is Royals manager Matt Quatrero. Catch Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first